Valley Traffic Division, which is down there over by the Plant Shopping Center, back by the behind the Home Depot. Essentially, I'm like, a traffic safety officer, liaison officer, so to speak, with the SLOs here, the senior leads here. And, I just keep in contact with them. They keep in contact with me about problems. If there's any traffic-related problems like speeding, stop sign violations, things of that sort, they'll let me know. And what I'll do is I'll contact that person and I'll go out and assess the location and the problem and conduct enforcement or decide where we're going to go from there, and try and help people, resolve the issues that they have there as far as traffic-related stuff. What I will do is before I leave, I'll put my contact information on the board there, my email and my phone number. My email is probably the best way to get a hold of me, just because I'm out working complaints, and that's a good thing. I don't spend a lot of time in the station. I'm usually out working these complaints that people call into me.
Any complaints in our area that you can tell them about?
I do know that, in speaking with Sergeant Munoz, there's been, kind of a street racing problem up in Selmar area. Valley Traffic recently, within the last few DPs, put together a special enforcement team for that, for street racing problems. That goes throughout the whole valley, so they're all over. But I do know that recently, either the end of last month or the beginning of this month, they were up in Roscoe Balboa. That's one of their locations that they like to race, and they had some pretty successful numbers, I think, as far as citations and arrests. So Valley Traffic did put that together for the street racing problem. As always, speed is always kind of an issue throughout the entire valley, as well as here in Mission Division. We deal with speed problems often, and our CAD team, our administrative team, they usually have our traffic enforcement guys go and write tickets in those areas. They kind of direct them to the most problematic areas. Aside from that, like I said, speed. If you guys, talking to your communities and your congregations, just let them know, hey, slow down. Nothing's worth rushing to that much for you to get hurt or somebody else to get hurt. So if people could slow down, and then left turns are a big one for us also. It's one of the #1 cause of accidents. So if you're making that left turn, just be sure that oncoming traffic is going to stop, or it's clear to make your left turn. Sir?
I think this is Missions area or LAPD, because where Hubbard Place and Hubbard is?
Hubbard Place and Hubbard.
Right here, if you turn up Floral Canyon, you're going towards Silmar.
Right.
You're going up Hubbard. Before you hit Truman,
Okay.
there's a little street called Hubbard Place.
Okay, yeah, I know that.
Borderline City of San Fernando, Silmar.
Right.
There's a taco place there that just went up, a vendor, and it's in front of a auto mechanic shop.
Okay.
Well, that little street, I don't live too far from there, is people are parking there, and they're buying their tacos, and it's like you have this much room, and you have a left turning lane that turns. So I've seen a lot of people crossing, and we checked that out. We've seen a lot of kids crossing, running across in the middle, and there's always traffic, because people like to take that street,
Right.
and head on up to Hubbard, going towards Silmar, so they cut through there instead of driving up Mayor to San Fernando Road.
Okay.
So, I've almost gotten a couple of accidents there, because
Right.
people are parking there, constantly buying, and there's no room, you shouldn't even be parking there.
Right.
But they're buying, it's a new taco stand or something
Okay.
that went up, so.
All right.
Hubbard and Hubbard Place.
I'll come see you. I'll come see you after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you the Valley Traffic Liaison only for Mission or for all 7 divisions?
Mission, just for mission.
For Mission, so there's one of you for each of the others?
Yes.
We'd say the problems in Mission are very similar to the other divisions, or is there?
Yeah, they're very similar. I mean, some divisions have unique issues, but for the most part, as far as traffic goes, they're all pretty similar.
And it's the left turns are really bad?
Yeah, some of the number
Remember
one.
when they had the big push to put in the left turn lights, the arrows? And then it's kind of, I haven't really seen as much lately. Do you know if there's anything going, because if you said that's the #1 problem, did any statistics show that really reduced the accidents that have that left turn?
I don't know about the statistics as far as the left turn lights, and I don't know what is currently going on with that. you know, obviously that's gonna be like a city funding, you know, kind of thing, and, you know, something that you'll have to go through your council members for.
But as a clergy council, if you're seeing left turns being an increase of accident, cause of accidents, as a clergy council, how can we help you guys if you see that that's a problem, and
Right.
left turns could be a solution, but we don't have statistics, how do we work to see if that might be a solution we can work on?
Well, it's not that, it's that left turns historically have like always been one of the #1 cause of accidents, and speed also. And in general, for me, it would be helpful from you guys if you could just put that out to your people. You just let them know, you be more careful on your left turns, be more alert, you know, be aware of your surroundings, because what happens is, you know, they think that the oncoming traffic is gonna stop. And, they make their left turn and the traffic doesn't stop. You have to be absolutely sure before you make that left turn. And it depends, the situation changes depending on where it's at. You know, for example, if it's at an intersection with a tri-light, or if it's into a driveway, and traffic controls all come into play also. But in general, left turns are, you know, a large.
And last question
Yeah.
was, there was one of the meetings, they said that there was an increase in cars versus pedestrian accidents. Have you seen an increase, or is it leveled off, or any?
In general, like throughout the entire valley.
Well, or whatever you're
Okay.
familiar with.
Here in Mission, there were like a few weeks that we were having an issue with pedestrian traffics, but the majority of them were the pedestrian was at fault. So pedestrians crossing out of the crosswalk and crossing the street when they're not supposed to. And just in general, pedestrians not being, you know, just someone being not aware of their surroundings. You know, I'm sure you guys seen it where, you know, someone's crossing the street, and even if you're standing at the corner and there's traffic control signals, and you have, you know, the green walking man comes on, and I see it all the time where people just step off into the street and they don't even look. And, you know, that's another thing that you guys can kind of put out to your people, just let them know, like, even if you're walking, just because a light says you can go, doesn't mean it's safe for you to go.
Yeah.
And a person's gonna lose that battle with a car every time, so.
They send text message from what to do.
Once the light is flashing, it gives you that countdown, you can't step on them.
Actually now you can, they just changed that. You can, but
That's dangerous.
the thing is you have to make it across the street before it turns solid. So if they catch you, or if you get caught
20
before it turns solid, then, or it turns solid when you're still crossing, yeah.
Not walk, you better run.
But at the same time, it's probably not a safe thing to run out of the street either. You know, and that's the thing. When you're driving, when you see pedestrian traffic, you expect them to be walking at a slower pace, you know? And when somebody just runs out or darts out, you know, kind of makes, what I'm saying is that the pedestrian has some responsibility for their safety as well. Yeah.
So we can educate more through the community groups and the neighborhood watches and all that about safe crossing and all that.
Right. And we've done, I know they've done fire campaigns here in Mission before, where, you know, we went to like problem intersections and passed out a bunch of flyers about pedestrian safety, and I know we've done stuff like that before in the past. Yes, ma'am.
Question for you regarding the street racing.
Uh-huh.
What do we do if we know who these people are?
Okay, as far as the street racing goes, like I said, we have that detail now.
Okay.
If you want, when I leave my information, you could email me or call me, and I'll eventually end up forwarding that information to the sergeant that runs that unit. I don't have his exact.
Of what you guys did up in that area.
Right. Yeah.
And it just upset me because they were making fun of the officers.
Oh, really?
And because 2 of those are my nephews.
Oh, wow.
Through marriage, and I just thought, I just hope that they get caught. You know,
Yeah.
I really do, because I
And
think it's just ridiculous.
it's a tough problem to work with because of social media. They're all, you know, closely in tune, and I mean, if they see a black and white, they're off to the next area. And literally, the unit's like chasing them all over the valley, from Topanga Division all the way up to Mission, to Foothill, and until they finally get the hint that we know where they are, like we're on them tonight.
So what about
Yeah.
license plates, street addresses, because those kids live a block from here.
I mean,
So, I mean, yeah,
I mean,
It's something
as far-
that we need to.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind having that information, because that could end up helping him later on down the road, but, the thing is the officers have to observe, the street racing and the organizing and
Even
that
if
kind
they
of
put it
stuff.
on Instagram and I have it on the feed. I mean,
Yeah,
this is how it is,
yeah.
really. They're, I wanna say dumb enough to post it online,
Mhm.
thinking that no one's ever gonna tell on them, or, no one's ever gonna
Right.
see it.
Right.
So I'm thinking, no, you know what, just because there's other kids that are around, and I can't even imagine somebody getting, swiped with that
Right.
car.
Yeah.
I can't, cause I watch the videos and it's just ridiculous, the way they hang out of their windows.
Oh, yeah.
They hang out on the bed trucks,
Mhm.
and these kids almost get hit, and they think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It needs to stop.
Yeah, no, definitely you can forward that
Okay.
information to me and
Thank
I'll
you.
pass it along to
Okay,
Sergeant
great.
Football.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
Alright. And I'll see you
Thank you.
about, Hubbard.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Officer Ryan. Well, and last but not least, we have, my partner is Sergeant Munoz, rather, and he's here to give a plug-in on the car show. Want to come up and say a few words?
Classic.
Good afternoon, folks.
Good afternoon.
One of the, one last thing before we let this particular subject close, I just wanna, let you know, one of the things that I talked to a friend of mine who's also in Valley Traffic,